they're going to deal with it. And so I thought it was really, I thought it was pretty cool to be able to see behind the scenes how they dealt with it. But what was more amazing to me, honestly, is hearing them in these game time situations. Obviously, I don't have to say much about
Kirk
Patrick.
Cousin was hurt. He was hurt, man.
Dude, like,
Kirk Cousin was hurt.
yeah, so I'm not even going to spend much time talking about how tough Patrick was. I mean, we've already seen that. The Netflix documentary didn't show us anything
So,
new.
I would say, like, Patrick Mahomes, like, it was his foot, right? His ankle. Okay, he could hop around, but, man, your ribs are jacked up. Man.
Yeah, dude.
Cousin, man.
Kirk Cousins straight gangster on
Yeah,
that. Seriously.
man.
I texted you guys the other day after I watched that episode. I was like, dude, episode 3, I have so much more I have so much respect for Kirk Cousins, man. And,
I like the guy.
yeah.
I like the guy. He's down to earth.
And honestly, even after episode 4, like, I'm a full-on Vikings fan now. When we play the Chiefs, don't get me wrong, they're the enemies, but I would really love to see us in the Super Bowl against the Vikings. I think that would make a great story. But so episode 3, yeah, so it really kind of showed how they all dealt with pain. Like Joe said, I thought that was the most interesting part of that episode, is just seeing the whole Kirk Cousins situation, because like Joe said, I mean, like, the pain that he was in was actually worse than what we seen Mariota or Mahomes go into.
You remember, like, when he ran off the field and someone's like, hey, are you okay? He was like, no, I hurt. I'm hurt.
Yeah.
I'm hurt.
Dude, that was so real though, man. Yeah.
He was already in pain with his cartilage in his chest, whatever. He got hit again, and he couldn't walk. He just the whole episode.
Did you see that thing that he put on his head to help him focus?
What the fuck was that?
Yeah, so
Get the fuck out of here with that
We need to
shit.
get one for Ken.
What is Ken thinking about?
so what they're talking about, he was wearing something that looks like a swimming cap, right? And it has all of these attachments on it. There's a better technical word. I just can't think of it.
Attachments.
But yes, there we go. It's attachments. But it's basically
Neurological.
something like that, right? So it's reading the brain waves, things like that. And it's designed to help you be calm in very stressful or hectic situations. And so Kirk Cousins claims that when he's diligent about doing that training throughout the week, that he seems like he plays better. He sees things better.
Dumb.
Who
I saw that
knows?
Patrick Mahomes had his childhood buddy that he's known since he was 6 years old.
Fourth grade.
Yes.
Fourth
he's-
grade. Brought his ass, convinced him.
Personal
Hell,
chef, right?
If
No, that's-
Patrick Mahomes
that's
called me
Mariota.
and be like, bro, move up here, I'm like, yeah. Where are you at? Hell yeah, I'm gonna move up there for you, be your personal. Is that not the chef, right?
That was
It
Mariota.
was as a physical therapy.
Physical therapist, yeah. And man, the different techniques and exercises that he did,
But-
I mean, were
Speaking of Mariota's personal chef, he was a little bit too excited in the game. Did you see him at the game?
No.
Yeah.
I did not,
Yeah.
actually.
I was like, he's cheering.
nobody else was in the stands,
Hey,
but this guy.
He's cheering a little bit too hard for
Did
Mariota,
you,
man.
did you see that one chick like 2 rows down and over? She was like looking over like, what the fuck's up with this guy?
Yeah, man.
Wow. Man, I don't know how I missed that.
He was like, wow,
Man, he was like
wow,
not only chef but also cheerleader.
yeah,
Okay,
man, yeah.
all right.
Yeah. And that chick over there was like, what the fuck's up? He scored 1 touchdown. We're down by 20.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing I got out of that episode, I thought this was brilliant on Patrick Mahomes' part. You notice how whenever he's getting hit by like anyone that's on defense, right? He is very complimentary.
Yeah.
And do you remember why he said
Go
he
ahead, bro.
does it?
So they won't fuck him up more.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I want to be
Much
nice
respect,
to them
bro.
so that when they hit me, maybe they take it a little easy on me because I want them to like me, right? And then I also notice he does that same thing with the refs, right? So the way he does it with them is like, he's like, hey, dog. That's his way of trying to make them feel cool, right? So he tries
Good
to
call,
make
dog.
them feel cool. That probably makes him feel great because who is not like, if I was out there refereeing, like I'd be fanning all over Patrick Mahomes. I'm like, oh, he called me dog.
Oh my God.
He called me
gave me a
dog,
compliment.
guys.
He gave me a compliment on the call.
Hey,
Good call, ref.
fuck Ken, have you been watching the quarterback? Yeah. Speaking to Mike.
If it's on.
It
It
is?
is on.
It's been on this whole time, bro.
No, it has not.
Do you have any
Because
so have any thoughts on anything that maybe we haven't brought up yet?
Well, me and the wife binge watched the whole thing, so just like
We're on
right,
episodes.
we're
hold on.
3 and 4,
We're only
just 3
talking
and
about
4.
we're only
Ju-
talking
ju-
about 3 and
ju-
4. So
just
don't
like
jump
Walt-
ahead.
Just like Walt said, it all kind of blends together. I know exactly what you're talking about. when you're talking about it.
The
but
pain episode. So let's stay
yeah.
there for now.
Yeah, so it all just kind of blends together. So it's all the same to me now.
So okay, no, fair enough, fair enough. So
Thank you.
let's move on to episode 4. So episode 4 was Mind Games.
We didn't talk about episode 4.
No. So
That's when they were doing all the long, verbiage.
Oh,
yeah. So
Backstrap 2 and 5 for make it right to the same.
yeah. So what you would learn from watching Mind Games is that you're going to see really what it's like for the quarterback preparing for the game up to that week, right? So I think we all know that there's a lot of preparation that goes into it, but
Very confusing.
I really didn't know how much preparation that goes into it. And you're right, very confusing. Why are the play call names so damn long?
And do you know who looked confused? Marcus Mariota.
Oh,
Marcus
dude.
Mariota looks the most
Bro.
confused. No, Patrick Mahomes had it right. He goes,
Yeah.
this means that, we're going to be in shotgun. This means that we're going to have triples on the right. This means, and it's all one fucking play. So he says specific words and it's cool how they give him freelance to name their own plays.
Only the Chiefs, baby.
Only the Chiefs. And then, what's it called? The playpen or the
laboratory.
the playground, the laboratory.
The laboratory.
Where they can come up with their own plays. And then, of course, Andy Reid is going to say, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Or, all right, I think I can work with that. We'll see.
One practice during the week, and that's what they do. They go in and they work
laboratory.
on their own plays, and that's what they call the laboratory, right? Andy Reid did say that he does get 51% of the vote. So, like you said, at the end of the day, he decides whether the play is going to go through or not.
That's fucking brilliant.
Yes. But I like that point Joe brought up. We talked about it a little bit before the podcast, that how Marcus Mariota just looked a little confused, right? So when you've seen him studying for the plays, he's sitting at the table with his wife, and even before they start, he just looks stressed. Like it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, he
he looks
does.
stressed, and I was like, oh my god, bro, you're like just practicing this with your wife. Then you see Patrick Mahomes out there. That dude's just like
He
it's
breaks
all
it
in
down.
his head.
He breaks it
It's
down.
all in his head, and he's just zipping off the plays like a genius at practice.
And if you think about it, he has to know the plays for all positions.
Yeah,
now, if you're a wide receiver, you just have to listen to one
part-
The
that
one
one
part.
part of
Yep.
it.
Okay, that's me. I'm just blocking.
But that shows the difference between world class, one of the best quarterbacks ever to play the game,
That's what it showed me.
and then a guy that's just trying to hang on.
That is, dude. That is a great analogy. And then, speaking of that, I laughed when I saw how Kirk Cousins does it, and he seems pretty. He's pretty quick, and he's not where Patrick is, but he's high caliber, right?
Well, because he has that thing on his head.
That's complete crap. I
Right.
think that's bullshit.
Yeah, you know what? That could be the placebo effect, right?
get
That could be the placebo
Right,
effect.
yeah.
But here's what I found
think
funny
that was
about Kirk Cousins. So he downloads the plays to his phone, right? And so when he's driving in the car and he's going places, that's what he does. He listens to the plays. So it sounds like a very boring process, but hey, everyone gets there a different way, and that's his vehicle. Came to learn. I had no idea that Brittany Mahomes in episode 4, they showed her and Patrick Mahomes. They obviously are owning partners in our KC Current team, and
Which is the women's professional
Yes.
soccer team.
come to find out, Brittany was actually a professional soccer player
She was.
in Iceland.
Yep.
The other thing that I thought was really cool, so she had played in college in Tyler, Texas. And they showed an interview of her after one of the games. She had a black eye in the interview.
I did see that.
And
interview,
it made a lot of sense to me. I know why now Patrick Mahomes loves this girl. Because, dude, in that interview, like, she's straight up gangster just like Patrick
Right.
Mahomes.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
could tell. If anyone that watches that episode in that moment, in that interview, she also has that killer instinct. Now, she ain't no Patrick Mahomes, but she is Brittany Mahomes, and she's also a killer. That is the power couple in professional sports. There's no better power couple.
And think
I'm
about
waiting
this.
for y'all to name one.
Think about this. This was years ago when women's sports really didn't have that much respect, and she was still going out there and showing her stuff. And I'm telling you, man, women's sports is nowadays. I mean, it's where it's at. I'm glad they're getting their due diligence, but it's still a long ways to go.
Yeah, and I tell you what, too, for those haters out there for Brittany Mahomes, watch episode 4, and I think I think you're going to look at her a little bit different. I certainly did. So it was.
Yeah.
I love that episode.
Practically
actually.
every episode, I've always said I'm a big fan of Brittany Holmes. They need to leave her alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with that.